Welcome to COVID-19 Local Impact Ottawa Valley. I'm Trevor Riley. Here to take a look at the COVID-19 situation here in the county. The latest update on April 8th, we had 2 new confirmed cases, which brings us up to 12, and no new deaths, which sits at 1. Total tests done, we have 598, and there was an increase in negative tests. That adds up to 423, and we are currently awaiting on the results of 163 tests. If we take a look at the picture in Ontario, the number of cases went up by 550, bringing it to a total of 5,276. That's an 11% increase from the last report. 174 deaths have been reported, and total tests have now reached over 84,600 at the 10:30 a.m. update on April 8th. Today, I am joined by President and CEO of CNL to talk about the ventilator project that was mentioned in Prime Minister Trudeau's address on April 7th. Joe McBearty gives us an update on the project.
I think we're making good progress here at CNL. As we talked a little bit the last time when we had the chance to get together, we were talking about face shields, and that project is continuing. We're manufacturing a portion of the face shield, and then actually the clear part comes. We assemble that, and then that's being processed to go out to the medical community. We're also, as you probably know, and we've talked about the last time, we've donated a significant amount of personal protective equipment, PPE, to the local area, to the Renfrew County Emergency Services. And so that hopefully is being utilized in the local area of Pembroke Hospital, Deep River Hospital, and the local emergency Renfrew County services. Yep.
Okay. And in the announcement yesterday, they talked about the building of ventilators, and that's a super important thing that's starting to come to the forefront. CNL is a pretty big player, I would think, in the help of designing that. Could you just talk a little bit about kind of CNL's role in this whole thing?
So CNL is partnered with Triumph Laboratory, which is a particle physics laboratory in Vancouver, and some Italian physicists from northern Italy, who really were the key folks that started this project. Art McDonald, who's a Nobel laureate in physics from Canada, and actually had spent time here at CNL in the early days. Art is really the motive force here, and as you saw in the Prime Minister's written announcement yesterday, CNL, Triumph, and Snow Lab, which is up in Sudbury, another particle physics laboratory, are all working together to try to put these ventilators together. Our role is really key. We're doing a lot of the mechanical engineering design. We're doing some of the controller design, the integration of all these parts together. We're also looking at testing and some of the things that people wouldn't necessarily think, from the procurement side, the legal side. Nothing ever happens simply. You just don't make something and toss it out into the market, especially to manufacture. And we are now the group is now starting to work with the manufacturing community to try to set up some contracts and arrangements so that we can actually get these out to the people that need them.
Okay. And I guess they're talking about the parts and stuff, kind of. So the 3D printing, is there anything involved with the 3D printing, or is it more or less the idea of how they come together, like the idea of how they're built?
It's really how they're built. Most of the parts are off-the-shelf parts, and I kind of said, people think off-the-shelf, I just go to Home Depot or Canadian Tire and I get a part. Not quite that off-the-shelf. These parts are available in the supply system. They're controlling boards, they're circuit boards, it's tubing, piping, pneumatic control valves, those types of things, which are generally readily available in the supply system somewhere. And so then trying to merge these together to actually make a medical grade ventilator. This is not something we just put on the table and off it goes. You have to test it. You have to make sure it's good for medical use and emergency use, and obviously some very stringent standards that you have to meet with Health Canada in Canada, and if it goes to the United States with the Food and Drug Administration in the U.S.
So exactly what is kind of the time frame, I guess? Is there any idea yet in the process of how long it takes? You know, you guys have an idea in place. How soon will they begin to be used?
Well, we're hoping by the end of April. That is the goal. There's a lot to do between now and then. When we finish this discussion today, I'm actually going to go down to one of our sites and look at the guys starting to put this together. Prototypes being built here. As I said, one's also being built out in Vancouver at Triumph. So we're hoping to have it built today, or today or tomorrow, and then tested by the weekend. So that'll be the first part of the testing. Testing always will show you kinks, bugs that you have to work out, and since this is electronic control systems, you have to be able to program stuff in there too. So it'll take a little bit of time to work through all that sequence.
And I guess talking about kind of an all hands on deck sort of operation, what kind of manpower are you guys putting towards this? Kind of what's the minds coming together?
We have about, it's not huge. It's probably about a dozen folks, and I'm probably leaving some people out, but a dozen people who are really hard nosed into this in our mechanical engineering division and in our control division. And then in supply and procurement, engineering and testing. So it's a fairly small group, and saying all hands on deck gives an impression that we're going to open up the site again. And in reality, that's not the case. It's a small group of people, following the right, COVID-19 safety protocols, working together to get the parts, assemble them, and then start the testing. But from a mindset standpoint, it really is kind of an all hands on deck.
Is this kind of something, now we had spoken before, this is kind of right up, do you feel like this is right up the alley of CNL kind of doing, in a situation that we're in, you guys fit very nicely into this kind of situation?
I think it's a perfect fit. We have just an enormous amount of scientific and technical and engineering talent here at CNL. Our guys' ability to innovate, design, build stuff, having our folks come in and actually put stuff together, machine stuff, or actually put it together. That's you can't go very many places and get all that in one spot. And so what CNL really brings, and the decades of experience that we have with every part of our organization, from trades all the way up to the scientists, actually positions us well for this. Yep.
And this is a somewhat of a truly Canadian, because everyone's talking about having to go to other countries to get equipment. This stuff is all being built here and for us.
Yes. And so that is kind of the premise of this entire project, is that it's using an international design, originally designed by the folks in Italy. And so for their supply, it works in their supply chain and their regulatory environment. But we want to be able to make it in Canada by Canadians with our supply chain for our regulations and our rules, so that we can benefit Canadians. And that's really the bottom line of this. This was really Dr. McDonald's real point on this. He wants to be able to have things available for the Canadian people that are truly a Canadian product from beginning to end.
You guys are located in Chalk River. That's where the site is. All of this is happening kind of in our backyard for Renfrew County. So I think it's kind of neat that something like this on a almost global scale, in the sense that you're working with other countries, is happening right here in Renfrew County, and we're playing, you guys are playing a very key part in the fight against COVID-19.
All right, and that's absolutely true. And if you look at what what our folks are contributing, not only in this ventilator project, but across the board, in trying to be able to use our engineering and radiological controls experience as a talent to be able to design and build containment systems which could work in a biological containment similar to a radiological containment. They're not exactly the same, obviously, but that experience, that expertise and talent is here. We're utilizing it. We've asked our staff to really think outside of the box. They've taken these ideas. We've taken those to the medical community in Ontario, to the province, and people are listening. And I think that's really heartfelt, and it's really encouraging to me to see everybody in this area come together, because we are really kind of in this together. There's no kidding. We have a large economic impact in Renfrew County. We understand that, and we want to be able to position CNL and the entire Ottawa Valley for economic success once this thing is past us and we start ramping up for operations, not only at CNL, but across the valley.
I want to thank Joe for joining me. It was an honor to have him in the studio once again for an interview. Hopefully we will talk to him soon as everything develops. Make sure to stay with your TV as we continue our COVID-19 Local Impact series every weekday right here on Channel 700 at 5 p.m. on our website at Your TV and also on Facebook. Make sure to follow our page for the latest updates. We hope you are staying safe wherever you are watching. We are in this together, and we will get through this. Thanks for watching.